What's good, YouTube? It's Rage Real. So in today's video, I want to show you guys one of the best trap plays in Madden 23 and how I built the scheme around it. So if you enjoy this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. So I am in the Chiefs offensive playbook. Again, I'm in the Chiefs offensive playbook. Now, I wanted to do this video because I really like this Trey open offset formation, and to me, it's this run right here, this 56 trap. I think it's one of the best traps in the game. I've really loved the blocking on it. It's really easy to find a hole. It's really explosive run, and also you have the inside zone to pair it with. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the outside zone, but it's a really good complement to run RPO zone peak with because it is slightly different blocking. It is inside zone RPO if you keep it, but the block is a little bit different to where you can utilize it a little better. So between those three run plays, I really love it. Now, sometimes outside zone is okay. It really just depends on what defense they're in, but in today's video, that's what we're going to take a look at. Now, I'm going to kind of show you this trap play, but then also the other plays we're going to take a look at is red zone under. We're going to look at 4 verticals and wide corner, and these are the 3 plays that I love to run to complement this offense. Now, also, I do love the slot drive, and I love that versus cover 2. You run it completely stock, but I'll show you a similar setup in case you happen to deal with this particular dollar blitz. I'll show you how I like to deal with it. But what we're gonna do is come out in 56 traps. So hopefully this video is about 11 minutes long. So let's go in and get started. So what I did was I actually took out the good defensive lineman. I put in some garbage defensive line. Now this is just so I don't have to get hollered at. So don't worry about if the run lanes look huge. It's still a really good play, you know. So anyways, I put a lot of speed in here. This is how you'll see it online minus the 3 garbage defensive linemen. And I just have to do that just because all Madden practice mode, you know, they're just so unrealistic with their little with their blocking. So anyways, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pinch the defense because this is normally what you'll see whenever you come out. Now I'll also show you against the really popular meta defenses, but I just kind of want to show you how to run this. Now you just kind of want to look and then get you a little hole, and it's really good because you can actually change direction. Now, one thing I do want to mention, I'm sure you guys already know this, we're already in May at this time, so what I like to do to be able to hit the holes fast when I run, I like to hold L2. So what I do is I'll hold L2 and then I'll cut, and it does like a little jump cut, which I'm sure you guys already know this already. I'm just kind of explaining to the guys that might not. Trust me, it makes running a lot smoother if you go ahead and hit that L2. But I actually want to show you guys versus the meta blitz, which is DB fire 2. A lot of times people do is they'll just pinch their defense, and you know, they may just take triangle, maybe put them in a coverage or something. They may do something. Long story short, they could blitz them both, but a lot of times they'll just stand right here and then they'll try to actually shoot this gap on this run. Since I can't control 2 controllers, I'm gonna put them like that. So with this one, normally I like to ID either one, and it's just good because if you use the jump cut, a lot of times you can get in that gap and then you can just push forward for a couple yards, or you could try to maybe find a hole on the outside. Now against this DB fire 2, I do still like the inside zone as well, so it's going to pinch our defense. Here we go right here. Now, like I said, I still like the inside zone. It just depends on, like I said, who their user in at the same time. So maybe we can go here. That time we didn't have nowhere to run, but you get the idea, right? So you just want to run against this, and when you want to pass the ball, this is where these concepts start to come in handy at. So first and foremost, we'll just take a look at just your normal cover 3. We'll go ahead and press because most of the time that's what you'll see. Now, the first play that we'll go over is going to be this red zone under. So with red zone under, what I like to do is take circle, put them on a streak. I like to take R1, put them on a zig, and take square and put them on an in route. Now, the practice mode does it to where you can't see the setups fully, but this guy right here is on a zig, R1, and square is on an in route. So I love this versus every single zone coverage in the game. You're gonna have it literally every single time. They have to zone drop to guard that particular corner route. Again, they have to zone drop. They cannot play non-zone drop and guard it. Now, the reason why I love it is because if they do zone drop, you're gonna make a simple high-low read right. It's your typical flood concept to where we're gonna have, you know, him up top or we're gonna have him down low. This is just so good because we're gonna be able to flood the side of the field. And then there's a setup I'm gonna give you where we're gonna flood this side of the field. So your opponent's never really gonna know where you're trying to flood the field at. And I love this setup because a lot of times you're gonna have this in route right here wide open. It all depends on where the user is. If the user is on this side right here, you really want to look to this right side. Now, if the user is on this hook zone right here, he's most likely gonna go run with this. So So what you want to do is actually hit this right here, as long as they don't have a quarterback spy, if that makes sense. So really love that setup right there. Now we'll take a look at cover 2. So cover 2, there are better things to run versus cover 2, but you still can run this particular setup. If they happen to blitz you, you're gonna have to look quick for a read, okay? You can hit R1 if you want to, or if you wait, you can actually hit X if you can buy a little time. And also you will have square at the same time. So right here, he's on a delayed block right here. So a lot of times he's gonna kind of get out there and maybe chip. Sometimes he doesn't. But regardless, you want to step up in the pocket. Anytime you're dealing with DB fire, you want to step up and you want to step to the right a little bit. You want to get away from this defensive tackle. Now, I didn't get away from him fast enough. That's why I had to get out the pocket. But a lot of times, your user is going to be really aggressive when you play this defense. When they play this defense, so they're going to take this away. So you really want to step up and look to hit this throw right here as soon as you can throw it. Normally, that's going to be open if they're not zone dropping, okay? Now, like I said, really love that setup. So next play I want to look at is let's actually go Y corner. Then we'll come back and do 4 verticals last. So for Y corner, we're going to take circle, put him on a streak. We're going to take R1. We're still going to put him on a zig. But the difference now is that we're actually going to take our tight end. We're actually going to motion them across. So when we do this right here, we're actually going to look for our tight end first. Again, you want to step up, and then you want to be able to hit them right there in that gap. So I like this play too. Look at Travis Kelce. But I like this play too. It's similar to the first setup I gave you, but the difference in this play is that our running back is actually going to be a lot more active in the passing game. So what happens here is that you can actually throw this ball right now. This is going to be open versus almost every single coverage. And the reason why is because this little corner route right here is going to pull back any outside zones. It's going to pull vertical hooks. And this route right here, when you motion over this corner to be a post, is going to drive back any vertical hook and hook zones. So you're going to have this perfect dot right here that's cooked up. So if your opponent's blitzing you quick, you have 1 hot read and you have 2 hot reads. It all depends on what they're playing. And normally the user is going to run with this route normally. So a lot of times you're going to have this throw right here just about every single time, okay? Now I'm gonna show you that's true versus just something like DB Fire 2. We'll go and pinch our defense, and let's go back to Y corner again, circle on the streak, R1 on the zig, and you simply just gonna motion over X because this triangle route is gonna run this way versus every single zone coverage. Look at triangle, notice how we can dump it if we want to, and also notice how we can have that tight end. So you always will have a two-way read no matter what, which is why I really love this setup. And again, I'll show you this running back route real quick. So it's just as we said will happen. The vertical hook is going to drive back this cloud over here, and this post is going to push back this vertical hook right here. So we're going to have this open all day long. And if you think about it, normally either this is going to be the user or this guy over here right here is going to be your user. So normally what happens is the user is going to kind of be aggressive here, or they're going to flash and be aggressive here. So if they come down, you want to look over the top. So it's literally a 1-2 read right there if you want to read that. So really love that setup right there. So you also can run wide corner versus man coverage. So if you have a great tight end, a lot of times you can leave that corner. And if you do have a great tight end, a lot of times I like to take R1, just put them on a slant. Sometimes you can have this corner out, but I don't like to play with it a lot of times. I like to just clear them out, put them on a fade, and we're gonna motion across. Well, you got two options. Either you could let this slant run across, and if you want that slant to run across, then I would take circle, put him on a drag, and then I would motion this guy right here. So we're gonna have a double-sided read, if that makes sense. So we can read the drag, we can read the corner out. So notice how X, it all depends on who you have out there. So if you want to throw X, you really need to drift in the pocket and then deliver this strike on the sideline. Since corner outs aren't that good on next gen, you have to, as soon as you get to break, you have to kind of drift out this way, and you have to throw this ball right up in here. Now I should have drifted out, but I didn't, and that's kind of why this pass was close. But you have to drift out, and you have to throw this ball on the sideline. Now I like this slant right here because you're going to make an easy read between both of these routes right here. So this motioned over drag route is normally going to get separation, but if not, a lot of times if you put your best route runner here, he's going to kind of get a nice little win, and he just most likely going to skate away from that guy. And the running back right here, normally they're going to do like a little out route that normally beats man coverage. He only did this right here because I already threw the ball, if you could tell, but normally it's just a good spacing type of play, okay? So I'll show you real quick versus man coverage, then we're going to go ahead and move forward with what I wanted to show you. So I'm going to spy that guy out there to represent me double teaming that guy. So again, that's wide corner, And what we want to do here is circle on a drag, R1 on a slant, and then we're going to take this drag and motion across and put square on a fade. And like I said, when you run this play, if you want to look for your tight end, if you have a really dominant tight end, you're going to have to drift out there. And then even then, I didn't even drift far enough. You're going to have to really drift if you want to throw it on the sideline. That's just how next gen is. But anyways, last play, second to last play I want you to look at is 4 verticals. So 4 verticals, there's a lot of great setups, but what I like to do personally is just take R1. I like to put him on a hitch, and it's doing the thing. But you want to take circle, put him on an out route and triangle. You want to put him on a swing route to the left. Now I know it's not showing up, but you got to trust me, it is. But you just want to double team that end out there. So all you want to do is make a simple read between R1, and then you're going to read between X. So I really love this setup just because it's really great when they start zone dropping to try to account for what we're doing. Then I like to hit them with this setup right here. So basically what's going to happen here is that we're going to make a read right here. So normally with this out route, it's going to drive back any outside zones. And if they don't, so for example, right here, the outside zone didn't play it and he sat right here. So what we can actually do is just still dump this if we want to. Just don't get baited. But anyways, it's more of an isolation type of play where we're going to isolate the user with this route up here. So again, there's all kind of setups you can run with this. So I like this play versus DB Fire too, because a lot of times you're going to have that hitch. So let's go back to 4 verticals. We're going to take R1, put him on the hitch, circle on the out route, and then we're going to take triangle. We're going to swing him to the left side of the field. And again, you can always have R1. Notice how R1 does get open, and X, you also can have X. Now, I could have been through it, but I decided to buy a little time and then deliver a strike. Now, what I will say is a lot of times this is how you're going to have to play against DB Fire. You're going to have to step up immediately because that's what forces them to get blocked. If you drift back in the pocket versus DB Fire, a lot of times these guys on the edges are going to come straight free. So that's why you have to step up. And now I love this play too, because if they use her on this side, they're screwed. And if they use her on this side versus DB Fire too, they have to make a 2-way read between the tight end and this hitch route. And they're going to give that up every single time. So that's why I love those 2 plays. And last thing I want to talk about, this is just, I love it versus cover 2. Technically it works versus man coverage, but I love it the most versus cover 2. And then that's going to wrap it up for this video. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to come out in DB Fire 2, and the play we're going to be talking about is the slot drive. Now the slot drive, it could work versus man coverage as well. You can run it stock if you want to, but what I like to do versus cover 2 specifically, if you're talking about DB Fire, is just take R1 right here and you want to put them on a hitch. Now again, if you want to run this versus man coverage, then you could just run it stock because this post route will win versus man. And right there's what I was talking about, how I didn't step up in the pocket fast enough. That's how you defeat DB Fire 2, by the way. You have to step up in the pocket if you're a quarterback. So R1 on the hitch, and that's what I like to do. And again, you want to step up and then look at R1. Notice how R1 gets open, but square right there, you also can have him in that gap. So I really love this setup too, if as a complement to cover 2, just because a lot of times they're going to be aggressive on this tight end route because of the concepts we've been running. So that's when we want to hit this hitch right here. So as you can tell, if he's on this side, we're going to, I can't talk. If he's on this side, we're going to take that hitch all night. We're not even going to worry about trying to throw this route. We're going to take that hitch literally every single day of the week. Now, if he's on this side, we just want to make a read between this hitch and this post route because they cannot defend both of those. But anyways, that's wrapping up his video. I just wanted to give you guys a really quick little scheme. And if you like me doing it quick like this, let me know in the comments. And I truly appreciate you guys. And I love hearing from you guys. So if you made it this far in the video, let me know in the comments. Drop a like. Just talk to me. I really appreciate you. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I do hope you have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.